Hello, my name is Wahid Lutfi. In this video, I'm going to show you how to see some of the features of Windows 10, multitasking, multi-threading, multi-processing operating system. So without further ado, let me just share my screen first. You can see what I'm doing here. And as you can see, this presentation, I'm going to just show you this presentation right after I open a command prompt. So let me just open a command prompt first. And I type in CMD here. Since I'm on a Windows operating system, as you can see here on this desktop, the Windows operating system opens up while I'm running all these other tools on the background. So when I say multitasking, that means that I have a virtual box running here, which just went to login session. So I just have to say that, okay, I'm going to log in here. But at the same time, while this one is doing the click or press keyboard to do this. Sometimes because of the memory issues, sometimes these are not as fast as you want to respond. So let me just minimize this one for now. And then you see all these other windows that are open here. So I'm going to just show you some of the things that I have done first. Before I log into the server to SSH to Unix server, and this was the Unix server, I use this tool, which is on the right side. This one is the dialog box. It's called Bitwise SSH Secure Shell Client. So you authenticate to the server side. Once you authenticate, you get a terminal session, which is this one right here. Then I run this host name here. It shows algorithm. Then I run the uname -a. It shows the entire information about the Linux algorithm, host name, and then the version, and then the release version, everything related to the Ubuntu 22 version or 20 version, whatever I have here. You could see COS-release, and you see that it's 20.04 long-term support. But in addition, I just type in this Zenity command with the colors, which open these dialog boxes. Like this one was for this Zenity command that is right here. And then I put that second command for Zenity-calendar. This is the calendar command that I did with this Zenity-calendar. And then the ampersand is just telling it to put it on the background so I can issue the next command. If you type in without the ampersand, the command prompt is not released till that window is closed. So in order for you to see the dialog boxes, then you just have to put the ampersand. And then the next command was xclock with the two greater sign dev null, because if you don't put that two greater sign dev null, then it's going to say some warning. So xclock clock by itself, if I do it with ampersand, this is going to just open at the same time. If it does have any kind of like warning, then you will see it. But if you do this two greater sign dev null, you're saying that whatever warning, I don't want to see it, and send it to the device null, which is suppress it there. So this one will just also open an extra clock, which is that one. So when I just click on X here, this will be saying done, because that will just close the session. And then eventually when the process is done on that server, this is on another machine. This is not on my Windows machine. This is on a cloud that I have it hosted on Germany. So I'm logged on this Linux server here. Whatever command I run, it is run executed remotely. How do I know that one? I could say, who am I? And then I see that I'm, and you see that xclock just say done. So it says that I'm W Lutfi, and then that's coming from this user ID of this one. So you can see that the way you're doing it. And then what I wanted to show you, the XIs also. The XIs is the next command. So in that terminal here, this one is the XIs that it opens it. So as I did this one, I also had this other session here. As you can see now, it is waiting for me to log in here. So I could type in my password, click on this one, and let me just get access to it first, and then say, now I'm going to type in password, and it's gonna just wait for me for a second, and I can type in password. And when it is going to refresh it, it's going to just open up the Ubuntu version that I was showing you on the original presentation PowerPoint. So this one is right now is in the progress. While that one is loaded, this was originally the information that I made this connection. This was the terminal session, so I put in installing update software. This was basically the dialog box saying that you need to install update software because this virtual machine, Linux Ubuntu 22.04 long-term support, that is running as an Oracle virtual machine. I started a long time ago. I never used it. So I just thought that, well, I could do a multitasking for Windows operating system to show you that you can run a SSH connection to a server side, which is this white terminal that I put all this detail here with all these commands that I'm running on an X window, because I enabled Xming and also Xterm with X 11 Windows capability. Then I can run this Zenity command as well as X dialog box, Xclock, Xterm, Xeyes, all of that. And then in this one right here is the virtual machine on the Linux Ubuntu. This is like a desktop. This is not a server because it's not serving. The difference between a client, a desktop versus a server basically is listening to client's request. For example, my SSH connection that I'm coming from right here, this is on this SSH connection here, this is a client, and then the server that is listening here on this server side is SSHD. So PS minus EFA grep minus I SSHD, this is the SSHD daemon that is listening on port 22. If I do sudo su dash and then become root first, once I become root, then I can say ps minus ef grep minus I SSHD. At the same time, I could say ls list of open file, lsof list of open file minus I for interface, and then port 22. So then I can see that port 22 is listening. Now you can see that that is listening, and the one that is connection, and one of them is myself with W Lutfi. You see W Lutfi here, and it says connection established. And then this is the IP address that I'm coming. When I say who am I, and it shows that I'm remotely coming from this one, and that's there. And then if I say echo $ display, at this time this is not set because I'm my ID is root. But if I exit out of this one and say echo $ display, my display is exported 10.0. At the same time, if I want to say grep minus I, and then x11 forward, x11 forward is good enough. That work on etc sshd underscore config. That tells me that right here SSH X forward is enabled. So I could SSH, and then I run any command with Xterm minus background dark blue minus foreground white minus face is New York minus font is equal, font size is equal, let's say 30. And then I could just say, I'm gonna run it also in the background. This will open up a dark blue background with white foreground on New York font, and then with font size of 30. So once this one is opened, it will just allow me to run an Xterm command. At the same time, if I want to change in this dark blue, I can type in the Xterm minus BG. Notice this one is there. Now I can even run the command on this one to run this command. It's not a problem. Any command that I run here, like clock minus D for digital, and then ampersand, you could see that it's going to open a digital format of the X clock here, which it did. And I'm going to move it right here to show you that this was the output of that command. But here, if you don't need that one, you can close it. And this eventually will be saying that it's done for the dark blue. But then you can say, let's open it a dark green, 00 for red. And then this is like HTML code of it, 00 for red. And then green, I'm going to say dark green, 25. And then blue is 0 also. Minus foreground, and I'm gonna say 3 letters of FFF. That would be white, and then 0 would be black. So you could say minus FA, and then I could just say New York like this also. New York, the font size this time I'm gonna say like 29. Let's just say 29. It's not that much of a difference between the other one. And so this time I also did it an ampersand. So the other one that it was saying blue is done, and you can see it is done. Now this one is going to open a dark green background here, and then I can do the command. This is, I'm showing you that I'm on a remote machine. So, and let's look up www.mywebuniversity.com, and then that is the IP address here. So if I say fconfig -a and grep -i, grep, you don't need -i because that one is there, and you can see that it is inet, the IP address is there. You can also do fconfig -a and get everything, or just the interface that is coming here. In this case, the interface name is Ethernet 0. You can see that ETH 0. So you can say clear screen fconfig ETH 0, and then that, sorry, fconfig ETH 0. I mistyped the ETH on the top. Clear the screen and this command, and then you could see the IP address is there. And then at the same time, now this dark green showed up here, the one that we were just doing it. Really nice commands, and you can just run these commands. Like if you're interested to learn Python, say Python 3, and then you get into Python. And then do a dir on the Python commands. You can see the packages that are there, everything. If you just say, okay, I'm done with Python, I just don't want to learn anything on Python, I don't want to practice, you could say gcc-v for version, and dash version, sorry. Dash version, or just dash lowercase v, I believe. Though lowercase v will give you the version, so gcc dash lowercase v or gcc dash version. That would show you. Similarly, if you want a g++ dash v, then that would say in the g++ GNU collection compilers. And then g++ dash version is also on the same thing, showing you, and the version 9.4.0 is there. And then in addition, like Python dash version, Python 3 dash version, you could see, get the version, or Python and dash uppercase v. For this one, dash uppercase v works. That's why sometimes I type in dash uppercase v for GCC, and it is lowercase dash version. So in this one, if you do, for example, pip dash v, this one will just show you the pip version, which is for Python 3.8, the pip version is 20.042. At the same time, if you say hostname, what is the hostname? I logged in an algorithm, it is there, that's fine. And if I could just say, for example, let's say pip list, what are the list of packages that are installed for pip? You can do that one. See, pip and list, and then pipe more. So with some of these packages, you could practice them if you want to, and some of them you don't have to. And any of these packages, you can import it with getting into Python and then installing it. So if you're looking for a pip list, and then grep minus I. Let's say, for example, we could look for request if it is there or not. And you can see request is with S, so it does find out the package that is there. And then if I just go inside Python 3, then I say import request, right away that package is available, dir of request. You can see that is there, and I can do a lot of things with it, but I'm not gonna show you that. I just want to show you what I wanted to show you. So when I'm on this session here, on the terminal, and the original terminal that I opened here, as you can see here, and you don't see that thing is saying done. But if I just go to this command and I type in exit, eventually you will see that the xterm command is also done. So now I'm going to close these other ones that I opened, like this one, it should say done later on. And then this other one, I'm going to close it. And these xterm sessions that I open, all of them, I'm going to close them one by one, and they will be saying that it's done. So the X clock, and then the last one right here is this. So right here on the background here, you don't have much, but notice that this other one just went, because I wasn't doing anything on it, went again to that screensaver. And normally, and the screensaver is syncing a little bit, so sometimes you have to be patient. You cannot just right away keep clicking on it and just see if you can get it. But then once you are getting the prompt for password, you can type in the password and then get to that screen and look at the configuration of what's going to happen here, what is there. So the capability of Windows operating system itself that I opened this command prompt, it shows that it is Windows 10 running. And then as you can see, this is on the background running, this one is running, and there's a lot of activity. So you can go on the task manager on Windows operating system. You say, well, I'm running as a guest operating system, these virtual machines, and then as a host operating system, that is hosting these one is Windows 10. And the virtual machine in this case is on the virtual box here. I started Linux Ubuntu and it says running. When you say show, it will just open up this one, and this one is basically going to the interface. Because I lost the control here, it is going to just sync again. So sometimes you have to look at also the setting here for that one to see how much memory. Like you can see that I have allocated 4 gig of memory out of the 15 gig that I have on this machine. So you can see all the details of it on the virtual machine here. I have allocated 4 gig here, and then the processor, there's only one processor here, and then the display, how much memory you have it. And notice that here, this one is showing here. So if I click on it in the show now, because I logged in, you can see that this is coming up. And as you can see here, installing update software. So that's why I was writing this one when it was started. And I started this video. I'm sure this is going to end sometime. When the software update is done, the next time I could do some demo of further stuff. But at this time, what I wanted you to see is the Windows features and functionality with Windows operating system that allows you to record your videos. You can do multitasking on running a virtual machine as a Linux machine on the server, and you can have a SSH connection to the terminal. And then with SSH, you're not only tied to the SSH terminal session you started with. For example, here, since I started, I can open another terminal here, and automatically I will be dropped there to that. And then if I just want to say, yeah, I want to just use a different color now. Let's see if I want to get this color and then white foreground, I could just open it, and now I have another background here. But the functionality is still there. Term is there, who am I? It shows still I'm logged on as that user, and echo $ display is there. Zenity, sorry, Zenity dash, let's say color selection, and then dash dash color. This time let's open a red, green, blue. So red, green, blue, but I'm going to say red is 25, dark red. And then green is 0 and blue is red, green, blue is also 0. And then you close it, and then you don't have to do ampersand. It will open it right here. And then when you're done with it, you could close it. And notice this is really nice. It opens it in that way. And if you just decide to say, yeah, go ahead, close it. If I want to say, let's say, for example, this one just say 0, and then this one is 0, and this time blue is going to be 25. I open it. Notice that if you just don't exit out, you want to select a color that is, this color is default selected. So this is the dark blue that I have selected. If I say select, this is the color is going to show that you have selected. And if you want to change that color to, let's say all the 25, all this one, see what this color is, combination of red is 25, blue is 25, and the other one is 25, then you can just change that one. Like a 69, 69, 69 would give you kind of like, let's say this one is like almost like black. So I'm going to just change this one to 69, 69, 69. And this is another color. I believe it is almost like darkish. Yeah, darkish. What this color? I forgot the name of the khaki, or we call it hockey or something. I don't I forgot. That's okay. Don't worry about that. The color, you would know what I'm talking about. So let's just go with the next thing that I'm going to show you here. So if I just go back and close this session, for example, I just say I'm done with this one, I'm going to close it. Then notice that here it is having all the interfaces, but at the same time on this white terminal that I had originally, that I open on the X window. So this is the one window. This is all good. Now notice as soon as I attached it, and it shows that Zenity color selection is done, because they exit out of all those ones, it shows all of them are done, and exit the other two. So if you are just saying that now what is running on this system, you can run top command, and then it's really cool. It shows you the processes that are there, and then basically in the top command, it shows you what are the process ID, and then the users, the priority, the nice, the virtual memory that is taking the resident portion of how much of the data is actually residing on the memory when it gets loaded, the shared portion, and this is kind of like heap kind of data that comes and goes, and then the status, whether it's in running state or sleep state or another state that is waiting. So and those are the status. CPU percentage that is used, the memory percentage used, the time that it started the process, how much is this, and then the actual command. On the top here, you can also see the 209 total processes that are in the system. One in running, always one is going to be running state, because it's like a quantum of the CPU time that it takes. It's not just like 10 millisecond or 100 millisecond, then the next process kicks in. That's why it says running on the process. And then sleeping, the rest of them would be sleeping or waiting, and it comes in a round robin kind of fashion. There's the zero zombie process here. The CPU is being very, very efficient, 0.0 user and 0.1 system. That means that the entire system is not even like being utilized at all. So we're not running too many web server. I'm running a web server, but it's not running too much process here. So the system, and then nice and idle, wait, high priority, and then so on. All of those ones you can check. And then here the memory, how much is the total memory, how much is free, how much is used, how much is And buffer cache, same thing with swap space. How much is available and how much is used and all that thing. And then you can do also top minus u W Lutfi. So you can just only see the user that you're interested here. So if you're saying top minus u root, then it's going to show only the root process there. And then clearly the screen edge top is another one that is like a GUI interface that is also have these functions you can explore. Similar information, but it's a little bit easier, a little bit more intuitive to look at it and understand it, and sometimes do more things with it. So I'm going to type in qquit, and then I want to show you this free -h command. Free command by itself, it shows you in kilobyte. So when you type in free -h, it says show me in human readable. You can also do free -m and megabyte or -k and kilobyte, but it's in -h is more efficient because you can just don't have to convert it to from memory from kilobyte to megabyte and then to gigabyte. So right away you see in this G in front of them or M in front of them, then you know what it is there. So free -h is your friend. And also you can get less hardware for hardware less thing. And if you are doing sudo stuff, you can do that one. ls block will give you the system hard disk block information. And then pvs is the, let me become root first here. Okay, so if I say PVS, physical volumes that are seeing here, and then I say volume group is scan. The PVS stands for physical volume group scan, and volume group scan is the VGS, and LVS is a logical volume scan. So you can also do PVS, PV display. Like physical volume display, you can see that there's only one physical volume here, and that is there. The volume group name is VG00. So if I say VG display, and then you can see that the, sorry, volume group S is this volume group display. I missed the S there, that's why I forgot to type in S for display. And then now you can see that this, so similar to logical volume scan, you can do LV display. LV display will show you all the logical volumes. And then if I just clear my screen and run that command with type more, you can see that it is the user and the dev and then the home and all other ones. So if you're interested on the home, you could just say LV display and then followed by the logical volume path. So volume group 00/home. That would do the same thing, and similarly for user, similarly for var, and so on. So you can get that information here. And this is just for this information on the Linux server. Here we have already done everything. This is still going on, so I'm not gonna demo anything on the Linux Ubuntu virtual machine. But the nice thing about the virtual machine, when you go to this task manager, you can see I'm running a Bitwise SSH connection, LibreOffice, which is this stuff that I'm showing you here. So if I go slide show here, you can see that I demo already this one, and I close these ones. Those ones were saying done. This is still doing the software update, and this one is basically the commands that we were doing on the white window here. So getting back to this one, you can see Microsoft Edge is running, which is this one. And then here I could just open a terminal, say, go to YouTube, and that would take us to YouTube default channels. So it will just come up this one, but since I have my YouTube channel already there. It should come up with my Web University channel, which is a little bit time consuming. It is just what it is. Sometimes you are getting these connections based on your network setting, and then it was in your resources of hardware and processors and memory and everything that you have on the system, and what operating system, what software you're using. So this is my Web University free educational videos that you are welcome to join, and then watch these videos. Yesterday, actually, I posted these videos. You can see 1 day, 2 day, 4 days. These are all Python object-oriented programming with classes and objects with Python programming. Basically, I wrote a Python class called pillars, and I put all these GOAT, which is greatest of all time pillars, as the pillars of, you can name any pillars that you feel like they're there, whether they're in soccer or basketball or football or baseball or boxing or running or anything. But they are basically your greatest of all time pillar. And I put these ones there because everyone loves them, and I love them, and they are inspiration for children to play sports as well. So you're welcome to watch them. Pillars class, learn object oriented. Basically, a class is a template for objects, and objects are instance of class, which is a pillar could be a object or an instance of a class pillars, and the class pillars is the blueprint, and each pillar has attribute. The attributes are, for example, the name of the pillar, the last name, first name, the height, the kind of color of skin, the country that they're born, and then the language they speak, and all those. Even the skill set is kind of like, well, if like you can say give a different level for the skill. Those could be also attribute, but the skills like dribbling skill, shooting skill, those ones are not considered as attribute. They are considered as behavior or method. Method is just functionality that a person can perform. Like shooting is just a skill that you can shoot or not shoot, and you can shoot stronger or curve balls or banana cakes or volley cakes, all kind of scissor cakes. And there are different type of shooting. So when you have the skills of passing, how decisive you pass the ball, how can you spin it while you're passing it for a header? Can you just make a small touch or bend the ball over the defenders? How you do those ones? Those are a skill set. And then the technique and tactic that you use, those applied also. But all of those are the method that what one person can do, another person cannot do. Those are functionality and features of a person's behavior in terms of dynamically changing the game, making an instance of a situation that he created on the fly on the game, like Maradona, Messi, Pele, and Zidane, and Beckenbauer, and Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, and the Ronaldo Brazil, and all of those players. I gave an instance of those examples. So I hope you enjoy all of that one and watch them. But at the same time, we're basically done with this one. I just want to thank you for watching, and then make sure that you're welcome to subscribe. You can also get system info here, 5 more for the system information to say that how much memory you have, all of that details. In addition, on the task manager here, you can see that performance in terms of the CPU and memory. You can see the CPU and memory, how much is utilized, hard disk, how much is used in the Ethernet network. All of that details are here in graphic mode on Windows operating system under the task manager. At the same time, you can just get the information on the process that you're running on virtual machine and everything. And if you close them, they should go away from here. Here, this one is just a Windows operating system telling you that you have 15 gigabyte of memory and how much is used, and all that things. In terms of processor, you can do the same thing here. And then if you just are looking for same command here, doing instead of this, you can do find I, meaning escape the things. So like if I say OS name, and then if there is a string called OS name, it will just tell me the operating system name is there. Find /I, meaning that ignore that case. So whether I type it in lowercase or uppercase, it should find it, and it does it. And so same thing with if I do for model or processor. Let's see, for processor, if anything with the processor, it should say there. And if the processor is not fine, you can look at like AMD, that is the type of processor, but it is finding the processor here, and then it says there. And if I do a model to see what is the model, sometimes the model or architecture word is used there, so you can look at the model there. And then similarly for memory, if you're looking for memory, you can see a system model is AMD 64. And if you're looking for memory, you can do mem is good enough for memory, because the string is just matching that combination with regular expression, saying mem, anything that start with that letter followed by anything else. And then also you can do, instead of find, you can also do find a string. And then here /I and then mem. So you could do find a string is equivalent to find. On the previous version, find a string was not available. Now it is there. It does the same thing as find does. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm going to just end this session with this stuff that we did, so you can see what I have for you there. And please make sure that you make some notes on things that you want for me to make videos for you, so you could learn it from there. Take care. God bless you all. Bye.